2014. With the commissioners meeting to my left, state their presence for the record.
Michael Arduino, Bronx County Republican.
Frederick Humane, Manhattan Republican.
Michael Michelle, Queens Republican.
Marie Westall, Richmond, Democrat.
Jose Roger, please, Democrat.
Senior staff.
Ron Sanzo, Deputy Executive Director.
Hamilton Functions Administrative Manager.
Kenneth Moulton, Council Commissioner. Stephen Dankberg.
Steve Richmond, General Counsel. Raphael Chino, Deputy General Counsel.
Michael Carmesino, Candidate Attorney.
Michael Neglia, Candidate Records Unit.
Matt Graves, Candidate Records Unit.
Tom Sadie, Ballot Coordinator, Candidate
Anybody else? Okay. We're here for hearings on challenges to designating petitions for the June 24th, 2014 federal office primary election. We have a number of challenges, and we ask the cooperation and understanding of all present to enable us to move matters along in an orderly fashion. I want to remind all persons who will appear before the commissioners that each person must fill out a notice of appearance form, which is available at the front counter. Each person must present a completed form to our staff as they come up to the podium to speak. And a reminder, no matter who's at the podium, only one speaker at a time. Please turn off all your cell phones. We're not going to take them away. You can have them yourself, but please turn them off. I want to remind everybody that this board is required by law to record how each commissioner votes on each matter. In the event that we are not unanimous on a vote on a matter, I'll ask that our council conduct a roll call vote of the commissioners for the record. I now call upon Steve Richmond, General Counsel for the board, to call the calendar for this hearing. But before you do that, let's say that we're joined by the late Michael Ryan.
Commissioners, there are two parts.
And Commissioner Castorina. And Commissioner Shimon.
Commissioners, there are two parts to today's hearings. The first is the prima facie calendar created by the Candidate Records Unit, and which has been called by Mr. Graves, followed by clerk's reports on specifications of objection. So, Mr. Graves, if we call the prima facie report, Commissioners, the report is headed CIU prima facie report.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. We have first up on our prima facie report, Democratic candidate for the 15th Congressional District, Mark Desafari Bay. The issue is candidate not registered or not eligible to vote.
Any appearances?
Before we move forward, I will note that I saw but did not read an order to show cause regarding this candidate. Is there anything enjoining this board from acting at all?
No, Commissioners. It's an order to show cause that Mr. Escofri Bay now tells the court that he did put his wrong name on this petition.
Excuse me, so the answer is no?
No, we agree that.
That's all I wanted to know.
Yes.
Please continue.
Next on our prima facie list, we have Democratic candidate for the 15th Congressional District, Jose Serrano. Issue is proof of service filed April 16th is addressed to the contact person, see H9. Proof of service filed April 18th is addressed to the candidate, but was due on April 16th and was filed late, see Rule H11.
Are there any appearances, please? Could you please hand up your notice of appearance and then state to the record who you represent, starting in this case to the objector?
Well, my name is Sam Sloan. I'm the candidate opposing Mr. Serrano, and I'd like to speak to the issue.
Jerry H. Goldfeder on behalf of Congressman Jose Serrano.
Commissioner, Mr. Sloan is not the objector, and he does not have a signed authorization to appear before on behalf of the objector. Mr. Sloan, are you an attorney admitted to practice in the state of New York?
No, I'm not.
Commissioner,
And unfortunately, you may not appear.
I did. Well, may I address the question here, because I think something should be said about this. I'd like to speak on this particular issue.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Serrano is a United States Congressman. He was serving in Washington, D.C., attending a committee meeting on congressional on internet security on that day, which was April 16th, 2004.
Mr. Sloan, let me interrupt you. We already know who Congressman Serrano is. We need to know who you are.
I'm the opponent. I'm running for office against Mr. Serrano.
But you're not the objector.
No, I'm not.
And you're not an attorney authorized to represent the objector.
No, I'm not.
kind of left with nowhere to turn.
But I just want to finish saying that we did check, and Mr. Serrano was in Washington DC on that date. It was thus impossible to serve him in New York City because he wasn't here, but the objector did call Mr. Goldfeder, this gentleman right here, and Mr. Goldfeder gave him his home address, 360 Grand Concourse West, and Mr. Goldfeder told him he could serve him at that address, and he did in fact serve Mr. Goldfeder at that address by certified mail. Mr. Goldfeder is not only attorney at law with a big law firm, Stroke and Levan, but he is also the contact person for Mr. Serrano, and therefore he was the only person available for service of process, and therefore there was nobody else who could possibly have been served. Mr. Serrano simply wasn't here, could not have been served in any other way. And in addition to that, a process server did go to his house at 960 Grand Concourse, apartment 4G, and nobody was home, but the specific objections were left by the process server at his front door, basically.
Thank you, sir. What's next?
The only thing I want to say,
Since nothing's been said,
Since nothing
are
has
you
been said,
replying or are you also making a statement?
since he, as a point of personal prerogative here, since he mentioned me, I did have a conversation with him, but I did say,
Mr. Goldfeder, a lot of people mention you for a lot of years, but I have my own opinion of you, so I don't really, I take it for what it's worth. But if you feel you need to address it, then please go ahead.
that's all right, why don't we proceed?
What's next?
Commissioners, our next item is for the candidacy
Is there a-
of
is there a-
Maria Farren,
Want to ruling right now?
Sure.
Why don't we wait until we finish them all? That's a Bronx
Oh,
issue.
okay.
We're done with that. We're gonna rule on them all together.
There you go.
Okay,
Thank you.
fair enough.
Please continue.
Our next issue is regarding the candidacy of Lolita Farren, Independence Party, Congressional District 10. She filed only a certificate of authorization, no petitions.
Any appearances?
What's next?
The next item is Democratic Party, candidacy of Yolanda Garcia, Congressional District 13. Specification volumes cover is filed unattached. Specification volumes were filed bound with metal binding clips, see rules page 1. Proof of service filed April 21st was filed separately and without objection number, and a photocopy of the original proof of service was filed April 22nd with the objection number written on it and attached to a photocopy of the specification further. See Rule H11.
Commissioners, we have a written response from Mr. Glickman on behalf of the objector, timely filed prior to the hearing, and of course, with a copy of which is provided.
Please state for the record exactly who Mr. Glickman is.
I am the attorney for the objector. Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Steve, just a question. Is 421 timely and 422 not timely?
No, Commissioners. The rules require that the proof of service be filed within 24 hours of the last day to file the specification. The specification was filed on the 21st, so the second proof of service in compliance with the rules was timely filed.
So is CRU withdrawing that item from its report?
Commissioners, the procedure has been for CRU to identify potential defects, eliminate determinations, and then the determination is submitted to the Commissioners for determination.
Except what you just said is that CRU determined not only was there a defect, but then there was a cure that was timely. Is that correct?
There was no cure, Commissioners. What happened is there was a submission of a document that meets the requirements of the rules. So I think the issue before you now is whether or not the binding of this constitution will pass.
Commissioner, if I may, the clerk's report, I believe, has not been produced yet on this matter. So my understanding is that it would be considered at the next hearing.
Ask me a question.
That's my understanding. So I'm intervening here before there's a...
Well, no, but this deals with the topic of whether or not the objection has been validly filed.
I understand.
What the substance of the objection is reflected in the clerk's report, which for various reasons is not finished yet.
Right.
But if we were to rule that the objection is no good because of a filing issue, then the rest of it becomes moot, the objection is gone, and we don't care what the clerk's report is. But that's what we're doing now, trying to see if by prima facie basis that the filing wasn't timely made, or if it was inappropriately made. So that's what we're looking at now.
So it sounds like that there was an issue regarding filing a proof of service, which Mr. Richmond, you're now saying is, okay, is that correct?
It's my opinion, Commissioner, that they met the requirements of the rules. CIU identified for your information the sequence of events.
Okay, and so the only other issue is whether we believe that the binding of the petition or the,
No, but the specification.
by binder clips is sufficient?
Well, the rule requires that the specification of objection shall be securely fastened, and the issue of binder clips has always created a concern for the board.
Can you see that? Can you see that in mine?
Probably not, they're probably being worked on now, but just a
In
guess.
Manhattan, specifications are in Manhattan.
Is it a big, thick binder clips?
Yes, Commissioner, and in fact, I have appeared here before, and you have actually, this board has accepted specifications of objection secured by large binder clips.
Well, I simply move that we remove that item from the CRU FEMA factor list.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed or abstained? Unanimous. Anything else? All right, Mr. Glickman, you're up though.
Thank you.
Anything else?
What remains for you is whether you adopt the balance of the proclamation.
I move we adopt the balance of the prima facie report.
Anybody second it? All in favor? Anybody abstain or opposed? That's unanimous as well. What's next?
Commissioners, next will be I'll ask the Staten Island staff to join us. Specifications, clerk's report on specifications of objection filed for the 11th Congressional District, which consists of parts of Staten Island and Brooklyn. I believe there's a folder which says Staten Island clerk's report with your name on it. Commissioners, the first clerk's report.
Steve, one second, Steve, 2 minutes on this.
Good afternoon, Mr. Khan.
Good afternoon.
How are you? Good, Commissioner. Let's see. Okay.
Commissioners, I ask permission that the Staten Island staff identify themselves for the record.
So you come on the record. We'll wait for the commissioners.
Mr. Connor, which side are you on? You seem to be.
I'm waiting, depends on the case.
I thought you were ubiquitous, you could be on both sides.
Oh, I just figure, you know.
Yes, both arguments are prepared.
Prima facie, that the clerk's report that we've just received, Diabetes, Vega,
Everybody be seated, please. Everybody, everybody.
to the petition of Jose Serrano, representative in Congress for the 15th District, I would dismiss the spec as moot because we've dismissed the objection.
And I will second that motion. All in favor? Anybody opposed or abstained?
Well, am I allowed to speak on this one?
No.
You have a signed notice on behalf of the objector, authorization.
No, but I did
Well, we
speak
went
to
through that
Mr.
the last
Anthony
time.
Rubistello, and he said that
I'm sorry. The motion carries and this packet is dismissed. So now we'll let go on to Staten Island matters.
If I may, my name is Marcus Guthrie Bay, and I understand you called my name when I wasn't here. I apologize for not being here, but I'm requesting that you make the second call so that I have an opportunity to be heard, please.
Which issue?
On the 15th Congressional District, Marcus Guthrie Bay for Congress.
You don't want a second call, you want a recall.
A recall.
Let's wait till the other commissioners are back.
Thank you.
Stand in the middle.
In the middle? Well, wait and see which case they vote.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Usual, Mike Ryan's the last one to join us, pardon. All right, we're back on the record. Mr. Richmond, please call the Staten Island calendar.
Commissioners, the first item before you is specification number RH1 in the Working Families Party, the matter of the objections of Robert J. Zahn to the petition of Dominic Cambrecchia for the candidate for member of Congress, 11th Congressional District Working Families Party. Clerk's report, 91 signatures found valid, 71 signatures required to qualify for the ballot, and several signatures are referred to the board based on similar handwriting or portrait. Appearances, please.
Martin, for the candidate, Martin E. Connor.
Anybody else? Okay, please proceed. We'll do the clerk's representative report.
I just did. I would move the clerk's report and note that the forgery and the handwriting things are not something that we really have jurisdiction over.
I would also point out that even were they true, they wouldn't, and I'm not conceding that, they wouldn't be enough to affect the margin here.
Anybody second Commissioner May's motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed or abstained? Okay, it's
Clerk's
unanimous.
report is adopted, the candidate will appear on the ballot. Clerk's report on specification number RH8, the objections of Thomas Hamilton to the petitions of Michael G. Grimm for the Independence Party designation for member of Congress of the 11th Congressional District. Clerks find 730 signatures are valid, 626 signatures required to qualify for the ballot, and several instances of similar handwriting referred to the board. Appearances, please.
For the objector, Martin E. Connor.
For the candidate Robert Hellbach, I previously faxed in a copy of my notice of appearance. We have it.
Thank you.
Move the clerk's report.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed or abstained? It's unanimous.
Clerk's report is adopted, the candidate will appear on the ballot. Specification number RH4-1 and 4-2, in the matter of the objections by Anna Storman to the petition of Eric Salgado to the Democratic nomination designation for the 11th Congressional District Member of Congress. Clerk's report finds 796 signatures valid, 1,250 required to qualify for the ballot, similar handwriting and forgery allegations referred to the board. Appearances, please.
For the objector, Martin E. Connor.
For candidate Gary Denoyan, I ask for a brief adjournment while the candidate himself appears as a witness.
Well, we don't usually have witnesses at these hearings. What we would ask you to do is to come with a list showing the signatures that, or the mistakes, theoretical mistakes that our clerks made, so that, and that's what our rules provide for. So if you would like to show why the clerk's report is inaccurate, we would give you the opportunity to do that. But we're not going to take testimony.
I understand that, Mr. Ryan, but the witness has we have an affidavit for the witness that I'd like to submit on that point, on the issue of the inaccuracy of the clerk's report.
So you're not ready to go forward?
That's correct.
Okay, does anybody have a motion?
Well, just a quick question before we make a motion. Was the clerk's report faxed over to the appropriate parties?
I might get the chief.
Yes.
I received it yesterday.
Yes.
We received it as well.
Move to adopt the clerk's report.
Wait a second. Second by Commissioner Mendino, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? It's unanimous. Anything left, Mr. Richmond?
Clerk's report is adopted, candidate will not appear on the ballot. Commissioners, that concludes today's calendar.
So all the matters are adjourned to Tuesday at 1:30 p.m.
Oh, Mr. Scotty Bay.
Okay, Mr. Scott Rebay is here. He had a matter on the field of fascia, CIU field of fascia report. He would like to address, so we're not going to adjourn.
If you wish to recall, it is page 1 of the CIU report. The finding from CIU is the candidate as set forth on the petition is not registered to vote.
The issue in regards to the candidate not being registered at the address was decided because there was a clerical error on my name. It's Marcus Guthrie Bay, and the C was omitted. It was a clerical error. And, you know, Marcus Guthrie Bay is residing at the address. It's, and I have first-hand knowledge about the error because it's my petition. I'm the candidate, and I know my name, and I know it is, in fact, a clerical error. And
Was it wrong on both the cover sheet and the petition?
no, it was correct on the cover sheet.
Any other commissioner like to address the issue? No?
And
Thank you, sir.
also, in addition, in regards to me not responding in the 3 days that we had, I was not in the country, and when I learned of it, I caught the next flight in. But when I read the notice sent to me, it said 3 days from the date on the petition. So I actually came in on the 3rd day, but if it's based on the date on the petition, I was a day late on my flight. So I'm asking the commission to actually reconsider and place my name on the ballot, because I don't think anyone here would believe that because there is an error in someone's name, they should be removed off the ballot for a clerical error. And if you decide not to put me on the ballot, it's not as if you committed murder or something. You could certainly live with that. But I'm asking you not to make a decision that you could live with. Make a decision because it's the right one.
We have to make a decision based on what the rules and regulations say, and the rules and regulations say that you were late, and that the name doesn't match the petition against what was on our records. We have to follow the rules, regardless of what the time is.
If it was wrong on the cover sheet, then they would have a chance to amend it, right? But the petition themselves, we can't because they're signed possibly for a different person.
If it was just the petition, I'd be one issue, there's 2 defects, is that correct?
Well, let me short circuit. Does any commissioner have any motion to discuss? If not, we are adjourned until Tuesday, 1:30. Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry, I have just a personnel issue.
We're not here for general hearing, it's only board of canvassers, so you can stay for Tuesday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See you all Tuesday.